Kiki has just turned 13 years old, and at the age of 13, it's tradition for a witch to spend a year away from home as part of their training. Eager to leave early on a perfect full moon night, Kiki says her goodbyes and flies off with her talking cat Gigi to settle into a town that doesn't have another witch, preferably one near the ocean. She flies across a port city and immediately falls in love with it, and everything seems to fall into place. She makes an arrangement with a bakery owner to help out in exchange for a room, and using her broom flying abilities, she begins a delivery service. And that's pretty much the premise. This is a coming-of-age story, but not just for young witches in training, but for anybody who can relate with her struggles of acceptance, anxiety, loneliness, finding independence, or really just anyone simply trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. It's a beautiful, inspirational, and relatable story. A perfect animated family film that'll not only excite and amaze, it'll lift your spirits sky high. Kiki's Delivery Service is a 1989 anime from Studio Ghibli, written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Well, it's adapted by him anyway. It's based off the 1985 novel by Eiko Kodano. And encouraged by the numerous awards and the popularity of the film, she went on to write 8 more novels. She just released the newest one last year at 87 years old. But today, we're gonna focus on the movie, because I don't know how to read. You might hear coming of age and drama and think, oh, well, this one sounds maybe a little boring. It's certainly not violent and usually not too intense. But that's okay. Even though this movie is mostly grounded in reality, there's still plenty of adventure and excitement and magic to go around. Since the novel itself is broken up in an episodic way, with each segment being fairly self-contained, the movie works in a similar way. But from what I've heard, the movie is written to have the characters much more involved in Kiki's life. And it reworks the events to help with those overarching themes it's going for, and to make the whole story a bit more intimate. But seriously, the movie is a blast. From the moment Kiki leaves home, you're invested in her journey. Each job she goes on, each little story is very entertaining and more than welcome. Sure, some Ghibli movies have a bit more peril than, I don't know, struggling to bake a herring and pumpkin pie in time for a party. Even if it doesn't give you all that much adrenaline, it's impactful and stressful all the same. Just like My Neighbor Totoro. And that's because this movie forces you to care about every single character by making them all just so warm and caring. And then when things go sour and Kiki gets burned out and starts shutting people out, it's pretty heartbreaking. This isn't a story just targeted for young audiences, it's literally for everyone. Age shouldn't be a factor in how much you resonate with Kiki's struggles. And the messages here are just good for anyone. Watching Kiki's Delivery Service is like drinking a cup of hot cocoa on a quiet winter night in front of a fireplace. It's not a Christmas movie, no, but it's warm, it's sweet, and it'll make you hopeful and happy. This movie sets out to make you feel something, and it succeeds. By this point, it's probably unnecessary to point this out, but it is obligatory for this studio. The movie is absolutely gorgeous, and the musical score is beautiful. However you feel about the story and the characters, there's no denying that this movie excels in all those technical categories. And even still, I don't know how anyone could not be charmed or captivated by this movie. It's just so sincere and delightful. Not to forget, it's also very funny. It just has heart, as simple as that. And for all you action junkies, the climax of the movie actually is really intense. When she's desperately trying to take off and there's no music, you're just sucked in. focusing on all the sound effects. Then when she's trying to grab his hand and she can't control the broom after all this buildup, it's a real nail-biter. Last time I watched this, my heart was racing. I started screaming a bit at the TV. The neighbors called the cops. So please don't be dismissive of this one. I recommend Kiki's Delivery Service just as highly as any other Ghibli production. It's a must-watch experience, and if you don't get anything from it, I just don't know what to say. If this movie about friendship and independence and witchcraft and devil worship doesn't melt your heart, I promise nothing will.